welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Hazeman and I am a mom of two. I have a 4-month-old baby currently and a almost 3-year-old daughter. And I have gone through a lot related to sleep with them. And I have a very in-depth, long story and lots of resources for baby sleep in general because my daughter, we really struggled navigating sleep with her. She didn't sleep through the night consistently until she was 2 years old. And prior to that, it was like multiple wake ups. We did, in short, a no cry approach with her up till about 10 months until like mentally I just broke down after 10 full months of just not sleeping at all. So I broke down and made a really difficult decision to work with a sleep expert and do a sleep training approach. Now, we did a modified sleep approach, but it was still so hard for us. In the caption, I will link our podcast episode where we talk about this decision as a couple, my husband and I. And if you're in that position with like, I feel like sleep training sounds awful, I don't want to do it, or maybe it sounds intriguing, or you just don't know how you feel about it, it's a really good episode to listen to because it's me in my like raw element talking about how I came to the conclusion that it was right for our family and like the emotion that went behind that. And it's just, I feel like I really open up in it and I might be able to relate to you. So that being said, at 10 months, we did a sleep training approach with her and it did drastically improve. We went from like 3 to 4 wake ups at night to 1 or 2. And that lasted until she was about 2 years old. And like there was lots of regressions and teething and sickness and traveling and things that like made the hiccups happen. Anyways, all of this to say that it was quite a difficult journey with our daughter. Now, fast forward X amount of time to we now have a newborn baby, a tiny little newborn baby, and I have kind of what I would call a fresh slate, but I don't know what to do to successfully get a kid to sleep, or I didn't think I knew what to successfully do to get a kid to sleep because I feel like that was not like a success with my daughter. Yes, at 2 years old she was sleeping, and now honestly I feel like we do have a good sleep relationship with her, but I had this fresh baby and I was like, oh my God, what can I do? What can I learn from baby number 1? So that's kind of what I want to talk about, our journey this time around and what we did differently this time around. That obviously worked because at 6 weeks he was sleeping through the night and has been ever since. So let's chat about it. So got this tiny newborn baby and I was exclusively breastfeeding. I co-slept as much as possible those first couple of weeks because that's how I get sleep, and that's what works for our family. I love co-sleeping. My mom co-slept with all of us, all 4 of her kids, and I just knew that that's a part of the motherhood journey that I wanted. So I co-slept with him. I baby wore him all day long. Right around the time he was born, I tried a new baby carrier. It's called the Sakura Bloom baby carrier, and it is so comfortable that I legitimately was able to wear him from like the time I woke up in the morning at 7 a.m. till I put my daughter to sleep at 7 p.m. Like, we all day long, he was just attached to me, would sleep. I mean, especially newborn babies, they sleep 100% of the day. Like, they're up for like 2 minutes to feed and then they go back to sleep. So I baby wore him all day long. And then at night, I would always start the night when I was putting my daughter to sleep. I would put him in his crib and he was awake. He didn't love laying there, but he wasn't screaming or crying. So I kind of just left him. And what I started to notice happening, so like at that time, I'm reading with my toddler, I am dancing with her, I'm getting her to sleep. And I started to notice, even as early as like 2 or 3 weeks, him settling himself down and falling asleep in the bassinet, which was in our room. Like, I've got a toddler running around yelling, we're reading books, we're talking to each other, and he's over here just like falling asleep. And throughout that time, he was definitely groaning, right? Like there was like like groans. There was sometimes even like whimpers and cries every so often, not like ever crying, not wailing, because at that point I am going to respond. I'm not doing like a cry it out method with my newborn baby, but he would definitely make noise, and I would be tending and giving my attention to my toddler, which was really important for me to set those boundaries. And during that time, he was figuring it out himself. So at like around 3 weeks, even like 2 weeks, he started to sleep longer stretches, like 5 or 6 hours at night. And I was already flabbergasted because, like I said, with my daughter previously, like we didn't get that kind of sleep for years. So I have this 2-week-old child, and I'm like, he must just be really sleepy. Like he must, why is he sleeping so well? And I was like, I didn't feel like I was doing anything, because it's not like I did any big drastic change, right? It was just laying him down at night. That's all it was. And then I started to realize that, like, sure, I wasn't intentionally doing something, but there were several things that I was doing that was helping him sleep better at night and getting those stretches right off the bat. One was he was getting incredibly good daytime sleep. I wasn't trying to do crib naps with him. I was doing contact naps. He was sleeping so well during the day, so it helped him sleep at night. Another thing was full feeds. I was getting good, solid feedings every time he woke up, and he was getting a lot of nutrients during the day, which helped him sleep at night. And then third was the letting him fuss a little, like letting him groan and roll around, something that I would have never done with my firstborn, because she was my only attention. Like I would stare at her. If she went, I would pick her up and be like, okay, I can help you fall asleep, because I love her so much. I love my son so much too, but I've learned that there is going to be a little like discomfort for them, and that's okay. Like as long as he's not actually crying out for me and just kind of groaning, that's just his way of settling down. So those were 3 things that I realized that I was doing, but I didn't realize I was doing. And so 2 weeks, as time progressed, and he started being awake for more time, that's when I also started implementing feeding when he woke up. So it was like eat, play, sleep is what you'll hear like during wake times, eat, play, sleep. With my daughter, every single time she was fussy or upset, I would feed her. And every single time I put her down to sleep, I would feed her, which is some babies are like that. Some babies need that. But with my son, I tried to focus on really getting him that full feed when he woke up from a nap, so that he could play for a little bit, and then I could rock him to sleep or rub his back to sleep or whatever I was going to do to get him to sleep. And that is how I kind of separated breastfeeding from sleep, which also I feel like has helped a lot in our sleep journey. So around a month, maybe a month and a half, is when we started doing like naps in the bassinet. He was still in the bassinet at that point. But I would, same thing, like when he would wake up, I would feed him, we would play a little bit, do some tummy time, do some like awake time, and then I would rock him till he was nice and sleepy, lay him down in the crib, and let him groan and fuss a little bit. And it would shock me sometimes. Sometimes it would be 10 minutes of him groaning, and I'm like, oh, if I went in there and rocked him, he would fall right asleep. But I would hold back and let him figure it out on his own, and he would do it, and it would blow my mind. Like, just absolutely blow my mind what he was capable of all on his own. And I'm as I'm talking through this, I want to preface that like he might really just be a good sleeper. It might be just like bad sleeper and good sleeper. But I'm trying to pinpoint the things that I did differently, because regardless, I think it can help. I think especially if like you're pregnant and you're going to get that little baby that is like a clean slate to give it your best shot, these are the things that I would 100% try to do with a new baby if I could. Then once he started napping in his crib, it became even easier to get him to sleep at night, because he was putting himself down multiple times a day for naps, and then sleep around 2 months is when, no, around 6.5, 7 weeks, so a little before 2 months, is when he just started getting super long stretches, 10, 11, 12 hours of sleep. Now he sleeps from about 6:30 p.m. Now he's 4 months, but at about 3 months is when he started sleeping from about 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. without any wake ups, which is absolutely crazy to me. Again, mind blown. But I feel like just those small adjustments are all it took to have a good sleeper, truly. One of my really good friends, between my two kids, had a son. And I remember talking to her because I was like, your kid is already sleeping such good stretches. Like, what are you doing? And she kind of like was just so confident in his ability to do it himself, and like wasn't quick to respond, or quick to jump in and intervene, I should say. Like, there's a difference between responding to a baby that's crying and intervening when they're trying to figure it out on their own. So I think that was like a really shocking understanding for me between my first and second, was like, oh, he's fine, he's not crying, like he's just groaning. Like, that is not a sign of distress. When he full on cries, you better believe I'm running in there. But there was so much that he could do, and so many times that I felt the urge as a mom, because of the groans, make me want to respond, but I would hold back for just a second and let him figure it out on his own, and it did shocking things for us. So that's our journey. Like, truthfully, there was no drastic sleep training. We did have a couple of wake ups when he was around 3 months old. A couple of times he'd wake up around 3 a.m. and I was like, our unicorn baby is gonna start waking up. And I stuck with it. I kind of adjusted his wake times and kept him up for a little bit longer during the day between his sleep cycles. And then it was just smooth sailing from there. I think that sleep causes parents, at least me as a parent, with my daughter, that was like our biggest stressor, was sleep. And this time around, it's made me just so much better of a mom to be able to get quality sleep, but also so much better of a parent completely, because not even just related to the sleep that I'm getting, but I feel like I'm less stressed, I'm less worried, because so much goes into baby sleep, right? They're sleeping all day, they're taking naps, they're doing their wake times. It's like everything is surrounding this like sleep thing. And if sleep is a stressor for you, it really does impact your life so much. So again, it wasn't a huge thing, but those few little tips that I had, few little adjustments that I made, or things that I prioritized and focused on, really, really did a great job for us. I did mention wake times. That was another thing. Like, around 6 weeks is when I started really caring about how much he was like awake and how much he was asleep, because prior to that, they're just so sleepy. Like, newborns just sleep so much during the day. I'm not gonna like calculate it all for my little ones, at least personally. That wasn't what I did, but I did start to pay attention to the wake times around 6 weeks and was able to adjust it so that he could get that full night of sleep. I do have videos, lots and lots of videos, talking about my favorite products that we used with our newborn and like during those first few months. I wanted to highlight like a few that really help, is making sure you have a good non-toxic diaper that can absorb. I like these ones, they're called Pura. We get them off of Amazon and have an Amazon subscription. And having a good absorbent diaper, we choose non-toxic diapers, which is why I highlighted that. But this one is like one of the only brands that will last for that 12-hour stretch, because if they are waking up and like soiling themselves, or the diaper is leaking and they're getting wet, that's going to prematurely wake them up. We also tried cloth diapering, and that wasn't really great for us because it was prematurely waking him up. So this one is nice, super absorbent, and lasts all 12 hours throughout the night. And then another thing is, we ended up not swaddling him. He just really liked having his arms by his face. And I know that you can get swaddles that do that, but like, we just tried not swaddling him a couple times, and he was sleeping really good long stretches. And I was like, I know that by the time we get him to like to be swaddled, he's gonna have to be taken out of the swaddle. So we'll just give it a shot without the swaddle. And we ended up not doing a swaddle, and we went straight to sleep sacks. So these are the sleep sacks that we've been using. They're from Amazon. They're half the price of Kite Baby, and they're just as nice. I really, really like them. So having a good sleep sack, the sleep sacks, again, I really like these, but the swaddles, there's like Halo swaddles that I really like, and that's what we attempted to use, but we did use with my daughter as well. Having some cozy, easy to easy to unzip jammies. We like having a non-toxic mattress, our crib. In the room, we really liked having the Halo bassinet. All of my favorite sleep products I'm going to link below for you, a nice list on Amazon so you can kind of search through them and find them. But truthfully, I don't feel like any product is going to do what simple changes in your daily routine can do for a newborn baby. But I would love to hear any tips that you guys have related to baby sleep. Do you have something that really worked for you, or do you think that I'm missing from this video? Leave it in the comments below so people can see. Let me know where you are in this sleep journey and any questions that you have. I'd love to be able to answer them for you. Make sure to hit a thumbs up if you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every single Friday, so I will see you guys next week. Bye!